confirm when they're going to be done.
All right, because we need to meet with them, all right, because you saw, there's this kind of limited space what you can do. So we took everything off the walls,
Yeah.
off the
Pictures,
they were hanging,
yeah.
and moved a lot of stuff to the center, but we moved a lot of stuff out
In the hall,
in the,
yeah.
well, in the first room.
Oh, yeah.
So they
Right.
can start the second room.
Yes.
But there's some areas where there's a bookcase.
That big bookcase.
No, because they said they can work around that. But we have,
It's something
the
heated.
one over on the right hand side of the fireplace is the kitty corner.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to empty all those and put them in boxes, everything there,
Yeah.
and then move that out. But they can start like towards the closet
Yes, it worked that way.
and work that way. Then when they're done there, we can move everything to that side.
Yeah.
Right, Chan? That's what we decided. Thought we
right.
were
We
thinking
get
anyway.
pretty flexible for them.
That's what I told Matt. I said that the only way this is going to work is take it all out of one, do that one, and then let's come
Yeah,
back.
so that's why we wanted to meet with them. That way, if it isn't satisfactory with them, we can come up with plan B or something.
Okay. So as soon as I know, I will let you know.
Yeah.
The only other thing to do is you gotta clean it out, you might as well open the window and throw it out the window, because you can't get down around them spiral stairs.
Not with all that big heavy stuff.
No. I'm glad it's gonna get done.
Yeah, it's a project.
It's gonna be a little chore.
And again, it might be, you do the one from now, and 2 months from now, it might be the second.
Right.
It's not going back to back.
Right.
You might have to be spread out.
Right.
Okay.
All right, being 7 o'clock, we will continue on with our meeting. We opened our meeting at 6 and immediately made the motion to go into non-public. And then we were done with non-public at 6:35, and we recessed the regular meeting until 7, as it was posted for the regular part of our meeting. That being said, I know a lot of the extra people that are here tonight are because of warrant articles, so I think I will skip right to those so that if people don't want to sit here all night, they don't have to, and we can keep things moving. Also, in case anybody didn't notice, on the posting for the meeting, we did not post any public comment. We have decided to not do public comment again to shorten up the meetings. So as of now, any public comments or questions or concerns can be addressed through email to the town administrator, and we will address all of those at the following week's meeting. And that's to try and shorten up these meetings and get everybody in and out of the building as possible, as quick as possible. So, petition warrant articles. And the very first one at the top of the list is for access. So we will start with access. And also, just for clarification, I know a few of you here are here on different warrant articles. And normally, like every year, we always ask Access and the community center to come because they ask for larger dollar amounts. And as for the other warrant articles that people are here for, I think how I would like to handle it, and it's up to the rest of the board, is we will discuss the warrant article ourselves, and if we have any questions for anybody that's here, we will ask them, but just trying to keep the meeting as short as possible to get everybody in and out and get everything done. So, access. Could you just double check and make sure that mic is on after two?
Hello?
Yep.
So I think I passed out to all of you some information regarding access and actually our financial sheet as well. I've also given Ben, and you can pass it around. It's just a book that was made up just highlighting things that we did this past summer. So Access is asking the town for $40,000 this year to continue running the enriching activities, academic activities that we've been doing in the past and want to continue doing. Do you want me to go through what I have here, or are you guys just going to ask questions?
I think the biggest questions that I have are, I know in the last couple of years there's been some changes with the way summer camp's been handled, and I know Access and the community center have been working together to make sure that that still happens. And is that still staying the same split as it was last year?
It is. This, I think in the past what they've been doing is 5 weeks Access has been running, and then the Elm has been doing 3. This past year with COVID, we sort of switched things up a little bit, and Access did 4, and the Elm did 2 weeks. So
Okay.
that will continue the partnership.
Yeah, okay. And you guys still were able to do the swimming programs, swimming lessons and stuff?
We did not do swimming lessons. That was something that the town was not doing due to COVID.
Okay. Does anybody else from the board have any questions on this article?
Missy, because of the COVID situation, was your program scaled back at all this year, besides the swimming?
Yes, it actually has been scaled back quite a bit. Not only for the summer we were able to have about 31 kids, whereas typically it would be around in the 50s. So that was for the summer. Even for this year program, typically we would be up at the school running program and would be able to again have around 40 kids. But due to the fact that COVID's going on, we can't be up at the school due to cleaning issues due to COVID. So we're actually down at the Elm Center, and we're just not able to service as many kids.
So that being said, do you expect a surplus from the revenue that they received from the town last year?
No. No.
So same amount of money, less programs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what we've been doing is even though Access has not been running with as many kids, we've been doing something with activity boxes, as you can see on that sheet. We've been still trying to be engaging the kids and providing activities for them on a weekly basis. So even though we're not running program, we're running it. It just looks different now due to the fact that COVID is happening and affecting everything.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions for Missy? I mean, I can say I love the idea they came up with sending home the activity boxes and the supplies to give the kids things to do at home when they can't be at Access.
I'll make a motion to appropriate the $40,000 for the Access program.
It would be to recommend.
To recommend, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. Is there a second? All right, any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
That was a 4-1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion passes. Motion to recommend 4-1 will be printed on the ballot. Thank you, Missy.
Excellent. Thank you so much
Thank
for the
you, Missy.
consideration. Thank you.
And next on the list is the community center. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. Frank Winterbringer. Been here before. I guess I'll kind of skip the general ELM stuff because I feel like you know it. I'm going to keep it short. But what I'll tell you is, I can go kind of my spiel I was going to go with is, obviously because of COVID, we scaled back some stuff this year. We didn't do baseball. Camps were kind of scaled back and so on and so forth. Obviously, we're not doing winter basketball right now. So we recognize that we were limited and somewhat reduced. So if you flip to what I say is the back side of the page, which is where it's got the ELM's recreational expenses current fiscal year to date. What we did is, fiscal year to date is what we've spent this year since July 1st when we got this year's PERT payment. And then the bottom half is what we're kind of hoping to spend for the rest of the year. I think we were able to run soccer in the fall, so I'm pretty confident that we can run baseball in the spring, even if we just do in-town intramural baseball. I mean, I think that's a sport that we can run and keep distance and make happen, so most likely we'll do that. We need to talk about, but I'm hoping that we're going to be able to run some activities for February and April vacation, and so on and so forth. So basically what we looked at, or what we did is said, we spent about, or we anticipate by the end of the year, we'll spend about $40,000. So that's what we put in as a request, and we figure that makes us whole from this past year. And with hope kicking into the beginning of next year, we'll be back where we were, and programs will start ramping back up because hopefully things will go closer to normal. And I'm fairly certain that once things do, I think we're going to see our numbers jump considerably when people can get out and feel comfortable about getting out and participating. So that's what we went with for the request this year. I guess I'd like to throw out a few things. If you didn't already know, last year, using our fundraising funds, we put in new playground equipment and a playground area with mulch and whatnot. It was about a $20,000 playground investment we put there. We've also got a grant and installed disc golf holes. So there's a disc golf course at the ELM that's been getting a lot of use, well, maybe not so much now, but was in the summer getting a lot more use, and that's also a nice thing for distance people to get outside. And our hope, obviously, for next year is that we'll have the chance to then go and do some teams or some workshops and teach kids how to play and maybe have a tournament there at some point. So take advantage of that and some of the other stuff. So that's kind of where I think that's the general gist. Questions?
Yeah, I think everybody can agree, from your average stay-at-home mom right to the community center to every company in the world, that COVID has definitely changed the way we do things. I'm glad to see that you guys were able to still do as many programs as you possibly could and stay within the guidelines. And I'm glad, just like I told Missy with Access, I'm glad to see that you guys have been able to partner together and work together so well and provide what you do for services for the community. I don't have any questions. Does anybody from the board have any?
Yeah.
Frank, on your grants, do you do a lot of match grants where you have to come up with the money first and then they reimburse you? Is that how your grants work over there?
A term, but I think the one that we got was the money came from, we got the money and then spent it. We told them what we were going to spend it for, so we got the money and then we turned around and spent it and bought the equipment.
It's not a matching grant.
No, it wasn't a matching. It was a Healthy Communities grant that was straight up just a grant to purchase equipment where we said we wanted a disc golf to put it out there to provide a place for people to exercise and get out and enjoy the community grounds.
No, because I noticed you're down, we usually give you $50,000 and you're down to 40, and I'm just curious how you was doing, making the difference.
Like I said, what I did is we looked at how much we'd spent so far, how much I think that we'll probably spend. I mean, it's still, obviously things are still a little up in the air, but I'm kind of hopeful that we'll get to do at least for sure baseball. We'll see how camps go, and maybe offer, like I said, maybe we'll do like disc golf or something else in the spring. And so basically we said, let's put the money that basically makes us whole from last year, and then essentially we have the same $55,000 that we asked for last year at the beginning of the fiscal year, and assuming that things open back up, we'll just kind of roll forward with that and be good again. I mean, I think it seems fair that otherwise, I mean, I could spend the money, but I think this was more fiscally reasonable.
I'd like to make a vote to
Well,
recommend.
Jack had a couple questions.
Just one.
Yep.
Last year you did receive 55, or this July 1, you received 55,000, and part of that increase was a program for seniors.
Yep.
I know the way things are, our environment, just probably not able to do it, but are you going to try to do something this spring, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we are. I mean, I think I guess I can address some key, and Jess can correct me if I get it wrong, but one of the key things that we did, which hopefully, like, again, things get a little more normal, we've been upgrading the kitchen at the center to make it so that it's inspected. And once we do that, we're allowed to serve meals out of it, so we can have like Meals on Wheels come deliver the meals there and hand them out at the ELM. You can't even hand them out if you don't have the inspected kitchen. So that's going to help us to boost that program once we can start having. One of the others that we have that we usually have is the Age in Motion classes. Was it health and human? Home Health Services, sorry, is the one that normally provides that, and basically they stop providing programs once things start shutting down. So actually what we've managed to do is get one of their instructors who we're now paying to come and offer the class. So we're now running the class twice a week again. So we're finally opening up for the people that feel comfortable to come in. So we're definitely offering that now that it got pulled back, but now we've got to, like I said, we're paying the instructor directly as opposed to through the programs out of Keene. So that's helped us a little bit. We've got some yoga classes that are open to people of all ages. So, I mean, I think we managed to do a few programs, obviously not as much as we were hoping to get. I mean, I think, again, as things get safer and we can open up, we're definitely, I know Jess is rare, she's all excited and then kind of got told no. So she's excited for the chance to start opening up those programs again. So I think as soon as we can safely do it, we're going to continue to offer those programs and keep expanding them to reach out. And again, especially right now, I think it's kind of the same thing. I think once it's safe to open up, that we're going to have a lot of people that want to get out and socialize and participate. And so we'll be ready to handle it once that's available.
Yeah. Thank you, Frank. I'll make a motion to recommend the $40,000 for the Community Center.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. It will be recommended 5-0. All right. And actually, just for clarification, I'm going to step back a little bit. I didn't read the entire article. And for the members of the public that don't have them in front of them, just so they're clear on the wording. Excuse me. The access article was Article 19, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 for the purpose of supporting youth programming through access, which supports youth activities and enrichment programs, as well as working with teens from Winchester to plan and coordinate for life after high school. And Article 20 is the community center, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 for the purpose of subsidizing youth recreation in the town of Winchester to be paid to the ELM Memorial Community Center on a contractual basis. So those are the two that we've done so far. Next one is Article 21, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be given to the Winchester Historical Society for the purpose of operating and maintaining the Sheridan House, so that this museum may continue to preserve the history of Winchester for the benefit of the public. And due to the fact that most of the Historical Society are elderly and didn't really want to be out in COVID conditions, which I don't blame them, and I expressed to Carrie that I did not see an issue with this and not having them here.
Make a motion to approve it then.
Jenny made a motion to
I'll
recommend.
second that.
James seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. That's recommended 5-0. Article 22. Shall we adopt provisions of RSA 72:28-b for all, in parentheses, veterans tax credit of $750 on residential property. The credit granted under this section shall increase the amount of the optional veterans tax credit in effect of $500. Under RSA 72:28-2, Roman numeral 2, this replaces RSA 72:28, Roman numeral 2 in its entirety, and no longer requires wartime service, in parentheses, to qualify. Surviving spouses would also qualify. And because even though it's not raising money, it's still a money article, so we should do a recommendation or not.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
could you also read Article 23 and Article 24, since all three of these articles are related to tax credits for veterans, and we could vote to recommend or not recommend on all three?
I will do that. So Article 23, shall we adopt the provisions of RSA 72:35, Roman numeral 1-a, for an optional veterans tax credit of $3,000 for service-connected total and permanent disabled veterans or on residential property, and replace the existing $2,000 optional tax credit in its entirety. Surviving spouses would also qualify for this one. And Article 24 is, shall we adopt the provisions of RSA 72:28, Roman numeral 2, for an optional veterans tax credit of $750 on residential property, and replace the existing optional tax credit in its entirety, and shall not be an addition thereto. And surviving spouses would also qualify for this one.
I make a motion to recommend Articles 22, 23, and 24.
Any other discussion on those? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion to recommend 5-0 on Articles 22, 23, and 24. Article 25. Shall the town of Winchester raise and appropriate the sum of $1 to support the annual Winchester Pickle Festival?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'm sorry, to recommend.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion to recommend 5-0. Sorry, Kevin, you don't get to give your pickle speech.
Can I ask him a question while I'm here? I don't know, why we dropped down to $1? You explained it to me once, and I guess
So
You did for the last
I
couple
didn't
of years.
understand why you were dropping down to $1.
Well, it was decided by the Winchester Pickle Festival Committee that it was important that this warrant article show up on our warrant each and every year. As everybody knows, the Pickle Festival didn't happen last year. The $800 is still in our bank account. So hopefully, we're thinking positive. We'll be able to have the festival this year. That $800 will go towards the purchase of pickles this year. But we want the residents of Winchester, the Winchester Pickle Festival Committee, to get into the habit of seeing that warrant article each year. So we didn't want to miss out on this year. We don't want you to forget about us.
No, okay, no, I wasn't. Thank you, Kevin.
And I know a lot of you don't do Facebook, but there was quite a Facebook conversation about this, and I agree 100% that it should, even though it's only $1, it should still be seen every year. Article 26. Shall the town of Winchester raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to hire a part-time social worker to work 20 hours a week for the Winchester Police Department?
Make a motion not to recommend this Article 26.
Second that.
I was trying not to because of time restrictions, but because it's a not negative, but a not recommend vote, I will allow. I know the creator of this warrant article is here, if she would like to speak on it. Or he.
Actually, I wrote the warrant article, and just a little bit of background. Going back to September, I was at a couple of selectmen meetings where the chief, Police Chief Tillett, approached the selectmen and talked about this position and why it was needed for our police department. And after that approach and how we went over all the reasons why our police department needs that position, I didn't see it as a part of the budget for this year. So I thought it was wise that it be included so that if it is approved on voting day, we'll be able to hire this person for our police department, because I thought the chief made a couple of excellent points why it's needed here in Winchester and how the town would benefit.
Right.
Kevin, just to very quickly respond to that.
Yep.
We already pay for these services through our health agencies. And we might be talking about those later on, I'm not sure, but we can get you the numbers, how much we pay already. And just recently, within, I'm guessing, last 2 or 3 weeks, Ben, Chief Tillett was on a call-in talk show on the local radio station up in Keene with the chief of police out of Keene, and who was a third party, Ben?
The Sheriff Eli Rivera.
Oh, yes, Sheriff. And the chief of police, city of Keene, basically said the same thing as I just did. We already, the county already pays for these features in everyone's budget. Every town in the county, they're available to every town in the county. And then he also stated that the city of Keene couldn't afford to do this. I don't know how the town of Winchester could, and that comes from the chief of police in the city of Keene. So we already pay for these services.
Okay.
I don't sure if you were aware of that, Kevin. That's the only reason I wanted to tell you.
Oh, no, I understand that, the health agencies and how they help out the town of Winchester. I think there are a lot of unique situations that our police department is going through, and it would benefit our police department to make sure that there's a professional on hand a little bit more often than the health agencies are available.
This won't change. This is an on-call person, just like the county is.
Yep.
So nothing would change as far as the services.
Well, I just think some individuals in town will be able to get a little extra attention that they probably need if this position were a part of our police department.
Yeah, and the night that it was presented to the board, nobody from the board said they didn't agree that there was a need for a better way to connect the residents with different services that are available to people. And we agreed. I mean, it was printed in the Keene Sentinel 2 days later that I 100% supported the idea, which I do 100% support, that there's got to be a better way of doing things. But after talking with a few people, I believe there is a better way of doing things without costing any towns any additional money. Just better structuring of what towns are already paying for.
I understand.
Kevin, I personally don't believe that we can hire a social worker, even a part-time basis for $25,000.
Well, I got that amount from the literature that was provided to the selectmen from the chief. So I thought that would be the best amount to go with, and that would be the person that would be doing the hiring. So that's where the $25,000 came from, and it is only a 20-hour-a-week position. So.
Yep. No.
Yeah, we all agree with you, Kevin, that it's a needed position, but we already pay for it. That's the only thing I wanted to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion from the board on that? That motion was seconded too, right? Okay. All those in favor of not recommending Article 26?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. That will be to not recommend 5-0. And I will say it again at deliberative when we explain our not recommendation on this, because I know it will come up, that it's not because, as we've all stated, it's not because we don't believe that there's a need for a better way of doing things. It boils down to, we already, like Jack said, we already pay for it, and other departments are already working on a way to better structure or better work together with the agencies that are out there without costing the town any money. Article 27, shall the town of Winchester raise and appropriate the sum of $7,500 to purchase equipment to live stream and video record all public board and committee meetings to provide transparency and accountability to the citizens and taxpayers.
I would make a motion to not recommend this.
Second, for discussion.
Okay. I was asked about this on Facebook, and as I explained it to the people that asked me, that, I mean, everybody knows that I've tried a few times to purchase some equipment through some of the grants. And I told the person that I do not support this warrant article, not because I don't think we don't need it, but because I think $7,500 is too high of an amount. If this was more like a $2,000 or $2,500 amount, that I could,
May I come up to the microphone?
Yeah, as soon as we're done talking. If it was a lower dollar amount, then I would support this article, but because of the dollar amount, I do not support it.
I was going to say the same thing. I think there's a previous quote regarding this equipment for about $3,500.
Right.
I would be happy to amend the warrant article in deliberative if the board would, for a lesser cost, if the board would recommend this.
I would I mean, I'm going to vote to not recommend tonight for the reasons I just stated. But if at deliberative the price was changed down to a dollar amount that I felt was a little bit more reasonable, then I would definitely vote to change my recommendation personally. But
Okay, yeah, I'm willing to work. I mean, I did some further research on the cost of it, and the cost can come down. So I'm happy, to amend that price. I think it would be great for the residents to be able to see that the board recommends this. And, I'm with amending the price, so I'm just gonna, say that.
Yep. Any other discussion on that from the board? All those in favor of not recommending Article 27? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Motion to not recommend, 5-0. And that is all the money articles. Or all the money petition warrant articles. While we're talking warrant articles and budget numbers and all that, we have a few 5 things here that we need to readdress that we've already either one that was tabled and a couple that need corrections. First is the health agencies. It was tabled, we tabled it and never approved it. The total budgeted dollar amount. Now does this new,
The 79,364 is what the budget committee recommended.
yeah, and right, and that includes the change from, was it Southwest Community Services that changed their dollar amount?
Yeah.
And that's what the budget committee recommendation, okay.
Correct.
So the budget committee's recommended budget that they put forward for this line item under health agencies was $79,346. And how would the board the board needs to approve this?
I make a motion to recommend the.
Well, we need to, no, this is part of our budget. It's not a warrant article.
I make a motion to accept the budget as 79,346.
I'll second that. Any other discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. And then the highway department, the highway line item, changed, and what the board had previously approved was $577,308, but then because of some changes within the budget committee actually recommended 5,082. What 5,000? Yeah, good luck with that, Dale. $582,508, which is a difference of about $5,000.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. And then the police line item, same thing. There was some changes. It's $1,000 difference from what we approved and what the budget committee approved. $651,366.
Motion to approve.
That was Channy and Gloria, in case anybody couldn't hear, because I could barely hear. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Now, the Southwest Regional Planning Commission one, Carrie.
Yeah.
I see we already voted on the requested amount, which was also the same as last year, but the budget committee dropped it down.
No, that was a typo. So when Amy put it into the system.
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
should have
yeah,
been
okay.
5,000. It was a typo.
Right, so there's a typo, so the actual amount that we voted on
The operating
is
budget is not
different
correct.
because of the
It doesn't
typo.
add up correctly.
All right, so, but we already voted to approve the operating budget, didn't we?
We did, both you and the budget committee did.
Right. Right, well,
So it needs to be increased by
yeah.
$4,500.
I'll entertain a motion to revisit the operating budget.
Second.
I'll make a motion to revisit that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. So because of these adjustments, and there was a typo under the Southwest Regional Planning Commission of what was actually approved was $5,000, and it was put in here as $500. So that changed quite a bit in the dollar amount that we previously approved. Plus, with these other corrections and changes we just put in, that actually changes the total for our operating budget to $3,675,097. We just need a motion to accept or approve that amount.
I'll make a motion to approve the.
Second.
That was James and Chaney, for anybody that couldn't hear. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. And that should be it.
No, the loader.
I meant with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The loader warrant article, the total that was printed, we had discussed it when we talked about it. The total that was on the paperwork that was brought to us was just a total of, like, if we were to outright buy the loader. And it was discussed during that meeting that the overall price is obviously going to be a little bit different because we would be intending to lease it. So the interest you pay by leasing it would change that amount. And that's what we have in front of us here. So we need to. Well, the select board hasn't even voted on this.
Yeah, you did,
Did we?
last week, or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Motion to revisit the article on the
loader?
the leasing of the loader.
All right. Is there a second?
Chaney.
Chaney seconded that?
Yes, I did.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries.
Motion to approve the change of the article to read, to add the interest amount for the lease.
All right.
And it shall read, go ahead, Ben.
Well, I was just going to say the original price that was discussed, which is the actual price of the loader, was $129,785. The new amount, which includes the interest because of the lease payments, is $138,200.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. And we did that.
Ben, let me see that.
We did that. We did that. What?
Can I see that for a second?
While Jack's reading that, just a reminder to everybody that tomorrow night, right here at the town hall, is the Budget Committee's public hearing on both the town and school budgets to go on the ballot. And that'll start at 6 o'clock tomorrow night right here. And masks do need to be worn for this meeting. So everybody that's coming, plan on wearing a mask. All right, moving on. Back to the beginning of the meeting. We need to approve the minutes of the meeting from December 30th.
Make a motion to approve those.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Next, we have an oath of office for Colby Ebenhausen for the zoning board as an alternate.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next, we have a permit for raffle tickets for the VFW. This is for February 7th for cash prizes.
I'll make a motion to approve that raffle.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carries. Next, we have a water abatement for map 8, lot 124, which is 57 Melvin Bridge Road. The water was shut off and was accidentally billed for the quarter's billing. The amount requested is $100.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next is a notice of intent to cut, which we do not need a motion on, and it is for map 15, lots 18 and 20. Just need to sign this. Next, we have an application for current use for map 4, lot 16 on Barber Road. Everything is in order.
Make a motion to approve that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next is a request for property abatement. This is per an agreement with the Board of Selectmen for map 29, lot 16, in the amount of $349.94.
Make a motion to approve that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next is a request for payment or refund. This was the customer overpaid, and this is just a correction on that. And we have to refund them $4,103.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries.
There's a second piece to that.
Yeah, that's a,
So that abatement is for multiple people. So because this year 2020 was a reval year, everybody, the list of those people who paid their July bill overpaid because their assessment and the tax rate dropped the
Yep.
second quarter, their second billing. So they overpaid in July, so we have to refund them the difference.
that's the $807 one?
No, that's the $4,000 one.
Right.
Okay.
The $800 one is, those are several people who have not paid their taxes, and we're going to abate it off their tax bill instead of refunding money.
Oh, yep. Okay. So, those... Okay, so that request for abatement is on map.
There's multiple.
Yeah, I see there's 7 of them here on the last page. The first number is the map and the second number is the lot number?
Yep.
Okay, so map 8, lot 119, 30 map 8, lot 11949, map 1, lot 75-2, map 1, lot 2022, map 5, lot 135, map 5, lot 138, and map 26, lot 100, and the total amount of $807.
I'll make a motion to approve all of those.
We already did.
Oh,
No, we didn't on this one.
Oh, the 800, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was a 4,000, I apologize.
James made a motion to approve those.
Second.
Jack seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. So there's 2 pages there to sign. Last step. This always happens when we take a week off. Okay, we need to sign the default budget paperwork. As discussed, well, we mentioned what the default amount was going to be at the, when we approved the article 2 weeks ago, but where's that? Is it the last page that has the
I
final
don't have
number?
a copy of that.
Huh?
I don't have a copy of it, so I don't know the number.
You don't? Okay. I don't have that default amount here. This is just all the paperwork for it.
If you wanna go back to it, I'll go look it up.
Okay. So this is the DTB paperwork for the default budget. Need a motion on this.
It'd be nice if we had the amount.
Can you go look that up real quick, Carrie?
Want me to do it now?
Yeah.
Is that my singing folder?
No, but we can't move on because Carrie's taking minutes. I don't want to mess her up too bad.
It's $3,694,477.
Got it? Okay.
make a motion to approve that default budget.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Oh, luckily there's only 4 of them to sign. Oh, next is the the contract with CAG, Certified Ambulance Group. This is a renewal on our previous contract. And this is, we have to choose if we want any increases or decreases. And this is setting our rates for what the ambulance department charges. So currently, we charge for a BLS call is $599, ALS 1 is $749, ALS 2 is $1,128, and the mileage loaded is 21.
Ben, I thought we talked about last year that Gloria or Chan, you guys might remember, didn't we talk about raising that 5 or 10%?
Yeah, we did, and the email here, from Certified Ambulance Group says that on average, with the people they contract through, there's been from a 0.3% to 10% increase across the board through everybody. So we're not the only ones looking at increasing that amount.
And I think that we decided to, I thought we had talked anyways, it wasn't a motion and vote, but we talked about going 10% because we were so low for so many years. We were going in the hole.
What are our rates compared to other towns?
They couldn't give us that information because the amounts vary so much. There's so much fluctuation because of the percentages. So that they didn't really have, it said it's made it very difficult to give us a specific number. But they're actually recommending around 10% of an increase on ours, which realistically, $599 for a BLS call, I mean, a 10% increase on that's not, we're not looking at huge money.
Yeah, $60.
So what would be the recommendation of the board?
I'll make a motion that we increase across the board 10%.
Any other discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. This only has room for one signature, so to keep this short and sweet, I will fill that out and sign it later after. Next, Amy has a request in here. So this, see, I've read this 6 times and I still don't understand it. Does the board wish to continue offering FFCRA to employees up to March? Is that something, Carrie, is this something to do with the federal money?
Yeah.
So this is, as of December, when Corona started back in March, the federal government mandated that we pay employees up to 80 hours if they were out due to COVID. As of the 31st of December, it's no longer. I assume that they're probably going to revisit that and kick it back in, but right now, it's up to the board whether they pay our employees if
So
they have to go out for COVID.
this is to approve extending it till March 31st in anticipation for what could come. All right.
Do you have a date, Carrie, on when that news will come?
I have no idea.
If it's gonna be
We're talking
reestablished?
about federal government, so it could be months or it could be next week. I don't know.
Yeah, they're too busy doing stupid stuff, so.
I'll make a motion to approve this. Does anybody want to second my motion? Any other discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye.
Right.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. This is our bond payment.
The water capital reserve, so as of December 31st, our bond payment, or our bond loan came due, matured. We can roll it over for an additional year.
Yeah.
In doing so, we have to pay the interest, which is $10,261.05.
Yeah.
And that's for the water main project
Okay. All right, so
and
this,
water tank.
all right, so the request, so I didn't see that price in the top half until I read the description email attached, so the request is to roll it over and pay the interest to the 10,261.05.
Correct.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
How much was that, Ben?
All those in favor? Aye.
Yeah, I was just curious how much you said it was.
The interest, $10,261.05.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Again, it's just my signature, so I'll fill that out after. Next is payment out of the Water Capital Reserve Fund to Community National Bank for the amount of $10,261.05. Wait a minute, that's,
Yeah, the first one was to roll it over for another year.
And
the
this one's
second
to make
one
the
is
payment.
To make the payment.
well, we kind of did the same motion for both.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, so we don't need a motion, we just made it. Next is payment out of the Asheville Rail Fund for $298.29 to the Winchester Trail Riders Incorporated.
Make motion to approve.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Need a conveyor belt. Next is to approve payment from the Water Tank Grant Fund. The total amount is $62,273.32. That is two payments. One to Tata and Howard for $6,669, and then one to Luch Water Contracting for $55,604.32.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. I'm taking the second sign here sticker off because the second page was just for my signature. The front page is for everybody's. Took it off so people didn't get confused. Next is payment from the town-owned buildings upgrade capital reserve fund to Gasset Energy for $522.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Next is payment from the Water Capital Reserve Fund to Wilson Controls for $19,050.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next is for payment out of the ambulance billing fund, and there's two of those. Two invoices. One of them's got two payments on it, but all three are from the ambulance billing fund. First is Anthem Blue Choice for $457.45. One to Mary Benoit for $196.05, and one to Certified Ambulance Group for $851.66.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next is a request for payment out of the cemetery building donation checking account, and this is to WB Mason for $867.95. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Have we heard anything on any other contractors for the archway at the cemetery? Alright, so right now we have one quote to do the work out at the cemetery from the damage to the archway that the insurance is going to cover. The original quote came in at $6,500 from Darren Qualters. So I will entertain a motion of awarding this work to Darren Qualters as long as he provides the needed insurance verification and whatnot that we always ask for.
I'll make a motion to award that to Darren.
I'll second.
Any other discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Now, still making you wait, Dale. Last one before you, though. A few weeks ago, the fire chief had come in with a request to purchase a plow for one of the trucks in the fire department. The board agreed on concern as far as getting a legal opinion on liability, where this vehicle would be going onto private property to plow and could possibly cause damage to driveways or lawns and whatnot. So we had questions on liability. Legal opinion came back and said that we can do it. There's nothing in the RSAs that says we can't. And that we would not be liable, right, Carrie?
Correct.
If I read that correctly?
Unless you ran into their house and
Right,
backed over their car.
right. Right.
I'm gonna make a motion to deny that request because they also said we're not responsible for plowing those driveways.
I'll second that.
That was to deny it?
Yes.
All right, any other discussion on that?
Dale wants to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that it did say that we are not responsible to do it, which we know we're not responsible to do it. However, I do feel that and not because I'm on the fire department and want to go out plowing driveways for the ambulance, because that's definitely not what I want to be doing. But if and when it does come again that we have a driveway that we can't get into for a medical emergency, it'd be nice to not have to hope that Dale's not on the opposite side of town. But
Well, that isn't fair, Ben. That isn't fair saying that. For the simple reason is, it's this. Dale stated 2 weeks ago that that was the first time in 20 plus years that he was asked. And it wasn't to do with plowing, it was to sand. And the fire chief stated at that time that he was looking into for tire chains for the ambulances, so that would eliminate the problem with sanding. And as far as plowing goes, if it's storming and the ambulance needs to get there, well, Dale and his men are out anyways. So it's easier for them to come. You can be in this town anywhere within 5 minutes, or call a fire department volunteer. Hey, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, get clothes on, come plow this driveway out, but Dale's out already. And if it's after the storm, the time frame is no different from a guy that lives right across the road from the highway, or having somebody come, a volunteer coming out of their home. So the time frame's the same. We already have the equipment to do it, and it's only happened once, and that was a sanding job. It wasn't plowing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, has there ever been an incident where we needed to plow a driveway?
there's been the one time that they called them the sand recently, but in the past, we've been all but stuck a few times with ambulances and driveways.
And I think that was from the lack of chains, wasn't it?
Well, or even deep snow, which drop chains don't do much in deep snow if the tires aren't already moving. Which I agree with you also, Jack, but I can personally see where this could be useful for the ambulance department. But so the motion right now is to deny this. All those in favor of denying it?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion to deny carries 4-1. We don't have to sign it because it was denied. Okay, Dale. At least they're not huge dollar amounts. They're big, but not huge. First one for the highway department is, oh wait, no, that's,
The highways,
that one's water department,
sewer.
Second one's for Dale. Repairs to the F-450 for $4,555.01.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Non-motion carries. Next one is for Dale. I just like picking on Dale. Somebody's got to do it because nobody else does, right, Dale? Oh, the loader that we need to replace also needs a ring gear to be able to use it for $3,155.87.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Non-motion carries. That's all I have in a folder. Let me look at my list real quick. Looks like I got everything on the list. The only other thing, I had a couple things I wanted to bring up. First, I had asked Carrie, I could have done it myself, but working this new job, I don't have a lot of time to email a million people. But I had asked Carrie to reach out to the Municipal Association for me, just to ask for clarification on ways of live streaming meetings. I know that legally you can do Zoom and stuff like that, but my specific question was, and my feeling was, is there a way that we could still meet as a board every Wednesday night? Or this could go for any committee or boards, but I was specifically thinking select board. With the 5 board members and the town administrator here in person, however, have no public attendance, and we would handle live streaming it ourselves on the town's Facebook page and handle comments the same way that I announced earlier. We would handle comments and questions for tonight, as being that if people had something, they could email the town administrator, and we would address those at the next meeting. And the legal opinion came back that said, yeah, that was perfectly fine and doable under these orders because of the COVID stuff. So that's actually going to be my recommendation, and I'll make it a motion that after this week, starting next week, we start live streaming the meetings ourselves to keep the public safety concerns that are going around, and with the increased numbers, the concerns just getting bigger. So I would like to meet, it would be the 5 board members and the town administrator, sitting just like we are, but we would set up our own camera to live stream them on the Facebook page. So that's my motion, to start doing that as of next week.
I'll second it for discussion. Wouldn't you like to add on to that, Ben? Because you basically just eliminated any department head. So maybe in that part of that motion, if the department head needs to come in and say Dale or Rick has something pressing that needs approval, you know.
Yeah.
So if they went through Carrie and was on the agenda for that, I mean, I would like to have the leeway of having the department heads come in.
Right. Yeah, I'll add that to my motion that in case of an emergency or something pressing comes up that we need a department head in here for, we will call them in. What I'd like to do is handle them first on the agenda, so we can get them in and out of the building and continue on with the rest of the meeting. So that would be my motion.
And second of all, you want to add into that also, I would think that about non-public, because we're still going to have non-public, and some of these will need to be met with people face to face.
Right.
So just leave that option open. That's what I'm
Right.
asking.
I mean, I would think that would fall under the same category of if anything pressing comes up, which is.
But I just said department heads.
Right.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to be worded there. The public
So maybe
also.
I'll just change it from department heads to any employee or resident in the town of Winchester that has some pressing business that has to come before the board, whether it be public or non-public, will be allowed to enter for that business only, and we will handle their business first and get them in and out.
All right, and this, we're still going to be meeting in person. This isn't, personally, I mean, I enjoy the public that comes down. I understand, but we won't be doing any Zoom meetings or anything like that. It's just, we're going to be basically doing the same thing we're doing right now.
Yeah, that's what my proposal is.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. And the only other thing I had that I wanted to bring up, only to kind of it's my personal opinion, and the board can agree with me or not, but it kind of irritated me a little bit when I saw that a community close by to us actually made a policy that all their equipment, vehicles and equipment needed to stop displaying the American flag. And any of them that did display the American flag, it needed to be removed. And I, for one, strongly believe that if somebody, whether they be a town employee, a resident, or somebody driving through town, if they want to display a flag or fly an American flag, more power to them. I would ask more people to do it, because you don't see a lot of them around anymore. But that kind of irritated me when I read it, so I felt like I needed to address that tonight and just say how I feel. And I'm pretty sure the rest of the board probably agree with me that the town's pretty solid on, we're proud to fly our American flags.
Yes, by all means.
Yep. So, but that's all I had. Does anybody else from the board have anything?
Yeah, I had one thing, Ben. It's been a few months now. Now the elections are over and you're up there in Concord. When we met with the Dean Beeman. He represented the trail, the side-by-side or four-wheeler club, or I'm sure, I apologize, I forget the name of their club.
The ATV club there?
ATV, thank you.
Yeah.
When he left that, the last night he was here, we said that we were going to try to reach out to the state to try to get a meeting with the powers to be to try to get these rails open at least through here in town. Now that things have calmed down a little bit, I know the new session started up in Concord, so you're going to be busy with that, but maybe you could reach out. I know, Carrie, I think you've tried there a couple of times, right? And it kind of fell on deaf ears.
Dean did as well, sent an email out to the gentleman. I think his name was Chris something.
Yeah. So I'm asking, both as a chairman of this board and for the residents of the town and the club members and our representative also to see if you can't set up a meeting with this board and the club members and the gentleman that we need to.
Yeah.
Carrie can get the information for you, I believe.
I think I have the gentleman's email address. Actually, that was one of my 3 choices for committee assignment, but I did not get chosen for that committee.
Wasn't Jay Conn there involved? He was involved too. I think he said he was going to.
Yeah, Jay Conn.
That too.
Yep. So yeah, I will reach out and I will let the board know.
Thank you.
Anything else from the board? No. All right, at this time I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A32 little, trying to remember, C, I think that's it.
A.
Oh, A. Yep, A and C.
So moved.
All those in favor, roll call vote. Jack Marsh.
Aye.
James Rokes.
Aye.
Herb Stevens. Gloria Lustak. Ben Kalansky, aye. We are now in non-public, and I do not see us having any other business.